You ever scroll through a product page, see all those glossy photos of a security system, and think, this looks perfect for my house, but what if it turns out to be a nightmare to set up or just doesn't actually see anything at night? I've been there spending an afternoon wrestling with a camera that looked great online only to end up with a blurry mess that never sent me an alert when the back gate opened. That hesitation is real, and it's why I'm breaking down the REOLINK 4K PTZ security camera system before you click buy. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the biggest promise this kit makes is that it's a plug-and-play, PoE-driven solution that should work for anyone who wants a full-time watchful eye without becoming a networking geek. The NVR and the 8-channel PoE switch are bundled together, so you literally just run an Ethernet cable from your router to the box, plug the cameras into the PoE ports, and the system powers up. In my testing, that simplicity held up. The cameras powered on immediately, and the NVR detected them without needing to hunt for IP addresses or punch in static settings. For a homeowner who just wants a reliable setup, that ease of use is a major win. What really sets this system apart is the auto-tracking and 6 hybrid zoom. Imagine a stray cat slipping through the side gate at 2 a.m. The camera spots the motion, zooms in, and keeps the cat in frame as it darts across the yard. The auto-track algorithm feels confident it doesn't jitter between frames, and the hybrid zoom, optical plus digital, maintains decent detail even when you're looking at a subject 20 feet away. That's the kind of practical strength you notice when you actually need to identify a face or a license plate, rather than just getting a generic motion blob. Low-light performance is another point where many PTZ cameras stumble. The REOLINK sensor is an 8MP 4K unit, and while it's not a full-frame sensor, it does a respectable job in dim conditions. In my driveway test, the image stayed relatively clean with a few grainy spots when the streetlights were the only illumination. The built-in IR LEDs kick in automatically, turning night into a grayscale but still readable scene. If you live in an area with occasional fog or heavy tree cover, you might notice a slight loss of contrast, but for most suburban settings the night view is usable. Stabilization is built into the PTZ motor, and I didn't see any wobble when the camera panned across a 180-degree sweep. The movement was smooth enough that you could actually watch a live feed without the motion feeling jerky, a subtle but important detail when you're monitoring a large property and want a fluid visual experience. Now, let's talk about the software side. The REOLINK app and the desktop client both present a dual view mode that lets you watch 2 camera angles on the same screen. That's handy if you have the front door and the backyard covered and you want a quick glance without opening separate windows. However, the menu can feel a bit dense once you start diving into smart detection settings. Turning on person detection versus vehicle detection requires a few extra taps, and there's no quick toggle to disable all AI features if you simply want raw motion alerts. For a total beginner, that extra navigation might cause a slight learning curve, but it's far from a roadblock. Smart detection and instant alerts are the features that make the system feel modern. When the camera identifies a person, you get a push notification on your phone within seconds, and the clip is stored on the 4 terabytes HDD inside the NVR. The Playback interface lets you scrub through the timeline quickly, and you can export a clip with a single click. In practice, I tested this by having a friend walk through the yard at a random time. The alert arrived promptly, and the recorded clip showed a clear, zoomed-in view of the person's face. The downside? The NVR storage is fixed at 4 terabytes, and while that's plenty for a few months of 4K footage, there's no built-in option to swap out the drive without opening the unit. If you plan to keep archives for a year or more, you'll have to factor in the hassle of replacing or expanding the storage. Battery confidence isn't a concern here because the cameras are powered via PoE, which eliminates the need for frequent battery checks or solar panels. That also means you won't have dead spots if a power outage hits, though you'll need a UPS for the NVR if you want continuous recording during an outage. For most users, the PoE approach simplifies power management and reduces the number of moving parts that could fail. Who should buy this? If you're a homeowner or small business operator who wants a comprehensive, high-resolution surveillance solution without hiring an installer, the REOLINK 4K PTZ kit hits a sweet spot. It's especially good for people who have a wide property and need the ability to pan, tilt, and zoom.